Hello, I'm Ken Fobb. This is NewsNet, Baton Rouge. Grab a tea or coffee as I go over with you headlines and news from our local area and region. Back on June 26, the body of 18-year-old Davanada London was found dumped at a brick park near the intersection of Perkins Road and Kenilworth Parkway. He died from a gunshot wound to his head. On last week, police finally announced the arrest of a 16-year-old suspect by the name of Jamari Street. Police say the 16-year-old suspect robbed London, the victim, shot him in the head, and then dumped his body at the brick park before stealing London's car. 16-year-old Jamari Street has been charged with first-degree murder and armed robbery. The DA's office has announced they're still deciding whether Street will be tried as an adult and what, if any, other charges may be applicable. I will keep you updated, so keep watching. You may recall in the month of May, a suspect led police officers on a multi-parish car chase and pursuit. He was identified as Manrico Jones, a 24-year-old, who while fleeing also tried to run an officer off of the road. On that day, he got away. Well, this past weekend, police officers were called to the 5,000 block of Bank Street because of a man refusing to leave a house. Once officers arrived, the man eventually exited a room in the house, but when officers attempted to question him, he attempted to flee through a back door. Officers had to deploy an electrical weapon, which allowed other officers enough time to put handcuffs on him. But this man turned out to be Manrico Jones. Now finally arrested, records show Manrico Jones was booked into a jail on July 28, and he faces several charges, including resisting an officer by force, entering and remaining after being forbidden, simple escape, battery of a police officer, and obstruction of a roadway. His arrest records also show that in the past, he'd been arrested for allegedly robbing people around the LSU Lakes in 2011. On Monday morning, a man died after a car crashed into a garbage truck between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. on Old Jefferson Highway at the intersection of Castle Ridge near the new section of Antioch Road. Ricky Mitchell, a 40-year-old from Baton Rouge, was killed and a second person was injured when a 2017 Freightliner garbage truck was stopped in the southbound lane of Louisiana Highway 73. Ricky Mitchell, who is an employee for a local trash collecting company, was simply standing by the garbage truck. At the time, the driver of a Silverado, for reasons unknown, fatally struck Mr. Mitchell. At the same time, it struck the rear of the garbage truck. A spokesperson for Richards Disposal Incorporated confirmed Ricky Mitchell was an employee with that company who at that time was working on the back of one of their trucks. Mr. Mitchell was pronounced dead at the scene. The Silverado was driven by 62-year-old Vincent De Puma, who did sustain serious injuries and was taken to a local hospital. Toxicology samples were submitted for analysis. Vincent De Puma happens to be a reserve deputy with the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office, but he was not on duty at the time of this accident or incident. He has been placed on leave pending the outcome of an investigation by the Louisiana State Police. West Baton Rouge Sheriff Deputy Lieutenant Ken Alvarez was instrumental in saving the life of a pregnant woman who attempted to commit suicide by jumping from the Mississippi River Bridge on Monday. While crossing the bridge himself, he observed the lady preparing to jump from the bridge some 200 feet above the Mississippi River. He immediately responded by sitting next to her while trying to calmly speak with her. She informed him that she was 7 months pregnant and had had an argument with her boyfriend earlier that day, and that she was going to jump with her unborn child. Fortunately, after about 45 minutes of calm, skillful communication with her, she abruptly stopped communicating with Alvarez, but when she briefly looked away, he and others were fortunately able to grab her and restrain her. The West and East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Offices, the Baton Rouge Police Department and Port Allen Police Department, the West and East Baton Rouge Parish Fire Departments, Acadian Ambulance, and EMS all worked together as one unit. After that, Ken Alvarez was able to take charge of the situation, attempting to save the life of this lady and her precious unborn child. She is currently receiving treatment at a local hospital. These have been headlines and news from our local area and region. I'm yours truly, Ken Fobb. I'll see you next time right here on NewsNet, Baton Rouge.